There has been an increase in both searches, rescues, and recoveries in the Kit Carson Massif. The areas where predominantly people get themselves into trouble are usually on the south side, the south face of Kit Carson as they're descending the avenue. This is a quarter-mile radius, so just in this one area, this was 2 years worth of fatalities and also rescues. The avenue goes around. This is the Prow right here. One guy got clipped out on the Prow and he called 911. He was extremely stuck. 15 minutes later, got another call from 911 saying someone was stuck on the Prow. I said, I already know. I know there's, he said, no, there's a second person, because he followed the first person. We had 2 people on this exact same day got clipped out on the Prow, all because they missed the avenue. If these people stopped earlier, then they went back up to regain the avenue, probably would never have to have rescued them. The avenue is basically a ledge that goes from the notch, the saddle in between Challenger and Kit Carson, and it traverses slightly up and slightly down, and it goes to the Prow, and from the Prow it continues on further around, and at a point you have to go straight up a gully, and that would be class 3. There is some space to it. The exposure can be a little bit high, and if there is any remaining snow, it's very difficult to go around the snow. If the snow is warm and slushy, it can collapse and slide. It's hard to say exactly what's going on in some of these people's heads, but it could be that the long ascent up there from Willow Lake Trailhead is quite long. And it's not just the time that they spend hiking to get up there and the ascent, but it's the difficultiness of Challenger itself. Even though it's a class 2 route, class 2 plus, it's a very difficult, loose, chossy climb, and it's exhausting, and it just goes straight up. But once they get to Challenger and they realize they have to go up Kit Carson if that's what their goal is, if they're exhausted and tired and the day's getting late, they know if they want to come back up and do Kit Carson in the future, they may have to go back up and over Challenger again. So some people may be pushing themselves too far, too late, once they're descending back to meet up with the avenue, or don't pay attention, it shows up too quickly and they don't think they're there yet and they just continue on. They may be thinking that there's a large cairn there. There is a small cairn, but it's not extremely noticeable. They just have to pay more attention as to the exact route where they went up. The Prow on Kit Carson's South Ridge is very prominent and obvious, so as you're ascending, you can notice that, and as you're descending, you should be able to use the Prow as a reference. If you're not seeing it right in front of you, it probably means you missed it. When they realize that they are off route and that there's lots of cliffs below them, they look up and they tend not to want to have to go all the way back up that, and they continue to push themselves down. You can very easily get yourself into 4th class terrain. You can get yourself into 5th class terrain. There are several cliff bands, and then even if you were successfully able to get down to the bottom to tree line, you're in the wrong valley. Oftentimes when people descend Challenger via a, quote, what they think is a shortcut, and then get themselves cliffed out, especially on the north side, is often because they're coming down Kit Carson and they don't want to go back up and over the few hundred feet of Challenger. You're looking right at the lake, you're thinking there's a lake right there, I'm just going to go straight down to it, and without remembering what it looks like below. And there's been a sign there for a number of years now saying ledges, cliffs below, do not descend. And so that, ever since that sign has been up, it seems that some incidents have declined of people going down the Kirk Couloir. Definitely descend the exact same route that you went up, because there's a lot of cliff bands in the Sangres that you don't necessarily see from above. So just because the lake looks at a straight shot closer to you, go back the same way that you ascended.